Hey lads, TechScanning here. So while we already have Android's most powerful Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 chipset, the smartphone gaming fans around the world are waiting for Asus to come up with its next gen ROG Phone series, the Asus ROG Phone 7. So here comes the exciting news. No more guesswork, as Asus itself has finally spoken that the launch event of the Asus ROG Phone 7 series will be held on April 13 at 8 PM New York times. Though there is no official word on the specs or the number of devices the Asus ROG Phone 7 lineup will have, however, now a tipster shared some key details alongside the possible devices, and according to him, this time there will be only two models, the standard Asus ROG Phone 7 and the ROG Phone 7 Ultimate. So no Pro model, which is surprising. However, an earlier report hinted that there will also be a third device, Asus ROG Phone 7D, but will be exclusive to the Chinese market. On the spec side, the whole ROG Phone 7 lineup will be powered by the mighty Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 chipset. However, what will be more exciting this time, the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 sports hardware-backed ray tracing like we experienced on the PC games. So this will be amazing to have realistic graphics to the sported games on a smartphone. Further, like the last year's ROG Phone 6 Ultimate model, the upcoming ROG Phone 7 Ultimate will be available with 16GB of RAM and 512GB of storage. Speaking of the cameras, the least focused department of a gaming phone, the Asus ROG Phone 7 series is set to retain the same camera setup as the last year's ROG Phone 6 series. A 50MP Sony IMX766 as the main, a 13MP ultra-wide and a 5MP macro sensor. So a pretty average quality camera system that we can expect from a gaming phone. Personally, in my opinion, Asus should put a little more effort into the camera system of such high-end devices to make them more versatile. On the front, the Asus ROG Phone 7 lineup is likely to sport an improved 32MP sensor instead of a 12MP. So far, there is no details about its display specs. However, most likely it will sport a flat AMOLED display, something like 6.8 inches, and we won't be surprised to see a higher 165Hz refresh rate. So, what are your thoughts on the Asus ROG Phone 7 series? Share your thoughts below in the comment section. Anyway, the Asus ROG Phone 7 series is just a few weeks away from us, and before that, we will most likely to get a sneak peek of its more information, including the design. Of course, I will keep you updated, so be sure to subscribe and hit the bell button. And I will see you in the next video. Until then, take care.